Hi.
How are you? It's good to see you again.
It's good to see you too.
What can I do for you today?
Well, I don't have anything today about the bank that I wanted to discuss with you. I wanted to get some advice on something.
Okay, what's up?
I have a job interview coming up that's really important.
Okay.
So I wanted some tips. Wanted to know if you had some tips for me.
Oh, congratulations. What kind of job are you applying for?
It's a teacher's assistant job.
Okay, well, let me ask this question. What made you decide that this is the job you want to interview for?
Well, because I like to work with kids. And
Okay.
I worked with kids for like the last 3 years. So
Okay.
I think it would be something that I'm good at.
Okay, fabulous. It's really important anytime you go on a job interview to think that you're going to enjoy the job you're doing. Otherwise, it will come across in the interview, so that's really good. The other thing I want you to think about before the interview, and you can even write it down if it makes you more comfortable, is think of the experience you have had with children and of some really good things that you've done that you think have made a difference at work. And then this way, if they ask you about specific experiences, you already have them top of mind and you can talk about it. Okay, the other thing is you look really excited now. It's important you bring that excitement into the interview because a potential employer is going to really look for a couple of things, especially with someone for a first job, is what kind of attitude do you bring to the job and what's your level of excitement. So obviously you want to make sure you smile an awful lot and you have those experiences top of mind. And then there's a lot of other things that sometimes people don't always think about, but it's really important to the employer. Like make sure that you are not late. Be there at least 15 minutes early to the interview. Make sure when you shake hands, you do have a firm handshake. Sometimes, especially for girls, we think, well, I don't want to be too firm, but it is still very important. Eye contact is also extremely important, especially when you're nervous. Sometimes you have a tendency to like look down or look away. Make sure you're looking at the person, and when you're answering the question, smile when you're answering them because you're excited to work with children, right?
Yeah.
So you want them to know that. The other thing I will tell you is make sure you dress conservatively. Don't dress like you're going to hang out with your girlfriends at the mall or go to the club. Make sure that you're dressed like you would dress if you're going to work that day. Okay, so if you're working with children, obviously you want to be comfortable, but you want to be very conservative. Don't wear really big earrings or rings. Keep the jewelry to a minimal. And the other thing sometimes folks don't think about is if you wear perfume on a daily basis, you don't have to wear it to your interview. Because you don't know the person who is interviewing if they have the same taste as you have. So it's just better to be safe and clean and not really necessarily have any type of perfumey smell. The other thing that's super important is that you're not chewing gum. Because even though we think we can chew gum and talk at the same time, sometimes you don't always pronounce your words correctly. But make sure you absolutely have fresh breath. So the last thing I do before any interview is brush my teeth before I leave the house. That's really important. Okay? And then when they ask you questions, they will ask you some yes or no questions. Make sure that you answer yes or no. Don't say yeah or nah, not really, because it's kind of a turnoff and it doesn't really show that you are that you're convicted in what you're saying. Does that make sense? And sit up straight, like you always do, and smile a lot, and I'm sure you'll do just fine. And then most of the time, they end the interview with, do you have any questions for me? Don't ask them about money, okay? And before you go to the interview, try and do some research. Is it for a private school?
No, it's for public.
It's for a public school. So what I would do is I would get on their website and see what their motto is, maybe what their mascot is, know the age groups that you're dealing with, and have some really good questions for them. So, you know, maybe you want to ask about lesson plans, or maybe you want to ask, you know, tell me about what my day will look like. Or ask the person who's you're interviewing with, have they ever had this job? And what did they like about the job? And what didn't they like about the job? Because you want to make sure they know you were very thoughtful about applying for this job because it's something you really want to do. Okay? And smile a lot and you'll be great.
All right.
Good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome.